Okay guys, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I don't know if this is going to be a good video, an interesting video, or if it's going to feel as tedious to you as it did to me while I was working on it. So, as you probably remember, if you've been with this channel for any amount of time, the room that I'm filming in now is the heated filming room. This used to be my son's bedroom before we had an addition put on and he could move out of the basement, and then I took over this room for a filming room. The old space is on the other side of that wall right there. That's the old craft room, and that's where I still store all my stuff. So it's very organized. However, I never really labeled everything because I used to work in there every day. I knew where everything was. But now where I only go in there to stage my projects, I'll go in and I'll get the stamps, I'll get the paper, I'll get everything I need, and then come back in here. It's taking me longer to find everything because, you know, just you get out of the habit of working in there and you might forget, where did I put that? Or I have to go through a couple drawers before I find the one that I want. And so I wanted to go through and label everything, and I don't know, maybe even like, I did go through and get rid of some stuff and donate it to a daycare, but there's probably still a lot of random stuff. This is some random stuff that I don't really know what to do with. And you never know, because things come in handy when you're a crafter. But with that warning, if you choose to proceed with watching this video, it might be good, it might be entertaining, it might be satisfying, or it might be completely tedious, because that's how I felt when I was doing it. But I'm glad it's done, and I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, let's go to the crafty hoard and do some organizing.
Here we are in the in the supply room, in the hoard room, and there's been a few things that have been bothering me about the way things are in this room, mostly because I use this for storage now, and I stage my projects here. And back when I did my last organization, I put labels on all the binders, but I made them blue because I didn't want labels to stand out. But it does take me longer to figure out what's in the binders because I have to, you know, find the label and then kind of turn on extra lights to see it because there's not a lot of contrast. So I want to put some white labels on there. Also, when I reorganized my sewing supplies, I didn't label the drawers, and because I'm not in here using the sewing supplies every day, I think I want to use a dry erase marker and label those. What else? Oh, there's a big void over the cardstock rack over here, and I think I want to put a shelf there or something just to I don't know, maybe hold things that I'm getting ready to review, or just extra storage. It's just like some wasted space. I did have one of my die cutters up there, and I had it up there for like a week or so while I was using it to test patterns, and that was handy, but it's kind of a waste of space because I can very easily just remove my cutter or die cutter there and pull out the die cutter I need to work with. So I think that's kind of a wasted space. That spot there that's empty on the shelf, that actually holds my pastel drawers that are on my desk in my other room because I've been using them. And yeah, I've got my space here or there that can be put away now because it's starting to get warmer out. And I like having my tabletop cleared off. So if I'm sewing, I have space to work, I have space to cut fabric, and I also have space to like lay out my binders of stamps when they are, when I'm using a set from a certain binder. That way I can put them back easily. None of those drawers in there are labeled, so I think I want to just put some like chalkboard labels on them so I can, you know, easily wipe off and change the contents, kind of like what I have on those drawers there with different paints in them. So, you know, it's just a little bit of tidying up. That shelf weight in the back there, there's a lot of like not locker bins, hanging file crates that just have random supplies. They're fairly well organized, but I think I should take them out and just have a look through and make sure I don't have anything there that needs to you know, be gotten rid of. I did just do a donation to a local daycare. Up in those bags there, I know that's so, you know, not aesthetically pleasing, but that's actually my kissing ball decoration. So I actually took apart my kissing balls a couple months ago when I undecorated the porch from Christmas, and I saved all the decorations so I could reuse them. So I do have some empty drawers as well. As some of these plastic drawers are empty, and I have some plastic drawers under there that are empty. So I could definitely use to label stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm knocking the place over. I could definitely use to relabel things and see where I have voids of space that could be filled. So as I embark on this update, I wouldn't even say reorganization because it's pretty well organized. As I embark on this update, I will keep you informed and pick up the camera and do a little recording maybe. All right, wish me luck. All right, I added the labels here, so it'll be a lot easier for me to spot what I have. I know it doesn't look that pretty to have labels and everything, but it's going to be much more efficient. And then I wrote on those drawers what was in them. So I'm gonna write empty with really big letters on empty drawers. Maybe I should put like a no allowed sign, like a circle with a slash through it. That might be better. I just want to make sure that I know where the empty drawers are in case I need to stash something. It will just make a lot more sense. And then under here, I just used dry erase markers on the clear drawers and wrote what was in them. I mean, nothing fancy, but it works. Well, I totally underestimated how tedious this project would be, but I did label all of those drawers. And then, yeah, you know, I just labeled over here, and I decided to leave the labels blank if there was nothing in them instead of writing empty. I figured that made more sense if I was putting a label. And I realized I have quite a few random drawers of stuff that really aren't categorized very well. So I really should go through stuff. Okay, I got a little tired of all the random drawers, so I cleaned out, I took everything out of this top drawer, and also this one here that was full of school supplies. And I also had some school supplies in the next one down along with some jewelry stuff. And what I did was I grabbed all the stuff in the top drawer. I had a bunch of those, like, I had a couple of stamp wheels and the inks for them. The wheels are up over there, over that yellow thing, for, like, you know, the Stampin' Around and rollograph wheels. And I have a couple handles in my other area with the wheels that I use the most often in the filming area. And then I put all of this stuff, please don't mind the furnace, I'm sorry, it's been very noisy. My husband's building some furniture right now, and he's been listening to music, and he just took everything outside, to sand outside, and get the dust out there. So, you know, just there's the house full of people and, you know, the regular weekend stuff. And so I put everything out on the table, and now I'm thinking I'm going to donate stuff. Like, I had a couple of these calculators that we never used, so I think I'll probably donate them to a school supply drive. We have a few notebooks the kids might actually use. Got some filler paper and ledger paper and graph paper and folders. I think I'll use a lot of this stuff, but I think some of these things should be with, like, my drawing supplies. Like, I got a package of erasers, I've got these rulers, pencil refills, that sort of thing. I think I should put those over here in my drawing drawers, my draw draws, or my draw draws, as I call them. Nobody else calls them that. I do. So, like, I have a bunch of, like, back here, I have a bunch of open stock, like, pencils and things like that. These will be very handy when I'm teaching again in real life, and not pretend teaching, in real life teaching. So I think I'm just going to go through and organize all that. Another idea that I have is that drying rack up there. I'm going to clear it off, put away the paintings because they're all dry, and move that over here on top of the cardstock thing and the draws, and because it doesn't really need to be, it's very lightweight and it doesn't hold a lot of weight. It's just stuff drying and I don't need to access it so much. And over there, I'm going to build some shelves. I have some of those cube units, you know, they used to sell them at Target and Home Depot and stuff. They're like wire cubes and you hook them together. Anyway, you'll see it when I do it. I'm going to put that up there because I've got more jewelry supplies that are in those bottom two drawers. And I found my big thing of wire. If you've been following the saga of what the heck did Lindsay do with her artistic wire, I found it. It's in one of those drawers underneath a bunch of crap. So I'm going to have that so it's all out over there, and that way when my daughter Lila returns a bunch of my jewelry making supplies that she's been using during the pandemic, I'll have a place for them to go. Because right now, if the kids brought back all of the stuff that they've borrowed for art making during the pandemic, I would be like, I don't know where to put anything. And that will also free up the jewelry stuff that I have in the middle cubby there, so I can have more room for my colored pencils, because I do have more colored pencils than that. It's a sickness. It's awful, but well, it's not awful. I enjoy them. They spark joy. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do with all this stuff. I'm going to not necessarily, I think I'll just kind of pare down to one, like, area of school supplies where it's just some notebooks, filler paper, and pens, really, because, you know, the girls will be seniors next year. Jack's out of school. He'll be out of school in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, and they pretty much have all their stuff up there. I would just like to have backup things for when they need stuff. Oh, also I have this random collection of tape that I think I will put over here. So I have my washi tape up there. Oh gosh, it's dark over here. Sorry, guys. Oh, aren't you regretting you asked for this this video now? That's my smock, by the way. So I took a letterpress tray and I put my favorite washi tapes in there. And then I've got some other washi tapes in here in trays, and also some wax melts. Those need to go out of there and be with my wax melt thing in my office because that's where I melt my wax. Oh, I got another one. My goodness, I have things squirreled away everywhere, and that's why I need to go through drawers to get all the random stuff out. So that's empty. I can put that tape in there, or I can use it for extra alcohol ink refills because I have my alcohol inks in here, both my like marker refills and just random inks that I make marker refills out of when I, have a marker run dry, in my alcohol ink palette. So I'm going to close that later and not jiggle you from here to eternity. Yeah, so getting like with like, oh, and my husband brought home a couple little like short bookshelf end table things, and I measured them and they will fit in there if I stack them up, and I'm going to get rid of the CD rack or DVD rack, whatever you want to call that thing that I have my markers on, because it will fit in there, and actually the shelves are a little bit deeper and it's not going to waste as much space. I'll be able to fit things on there in a more organized fashion, and it's not going to take up any more space. So I get a lot of things to do. I get a lot of plans, but I enjoy reorganizing stuff. And when I get something else done, I will check back in with you. And just a quick public service announcement, don't bulk buy glue sticks because they will dry up. I have no idea when I bought these, but look at that. It is completely a dried hard rock in there. So check the supplies before you actually restore them. Make sure they all work because there's no point in storing dried up glue sticks. So I think it's definitely time to check out a lot of things and donate things that I know I'm not going to use, because if they're going to go bad, then there's no point in keeping them. Okay, just wanted to let you know, I used to stock up. I used to buy so many glue sticks when Target would have their big back to school sale and the kids were little. Glue sticks and crayons and markers and stuff, and the glue sticks just don't last. They dry up. So public service announcement. One of the things I really like about this drawer is that I have these little baskets that I can take out and see what I have underneath. Like, it's mostly my neutral toned washi tape that I have in there that I couldn't fit in the letterpress tray. Well, I put the fabric tapes that are in packages in the back there because I can see everything. I don't have to move anything to see it. So I figured that would be a good place to use up that little corner of old wax melt space. And then here, I am just going to put in my Christmas tapes, which I put in a tin. I wish I had some more of those Dollar Tree baskets. I'll probably buy some more the next time I go in. Maybe, we'll see. I might not need them. And then I'm just going to throw in all the other washi tape in there for now. I probably will get some baskets though, because they work so well in the other drawer. And then if I have more, I find more washi tape, which is in the realm of possibility, I will have room for them. And then I double parked the duct tape that was in there because I had some skinny rolls of duct tape. I double parked them under other rolls there because, again, I keep my duct tape up there. That's where I'm going to look for it. Also my packing tape. And it just makes more sense for me to keep like with like. So, there is another riveting installment of my organization for you. Okay, we're going to move that thing over there. We got the tripod. I put the thing that the computer monitor stand that was there up here, and I can still fit my die cutting plates in there. And I've got some skinny wood that I can use to shim this. So hopefully everything will work out. I'll have to have Jason cut this because they're too long. I'll be walking into that. Oh my word. Alright, wish me luck. Oh, this is actually heavier than it looks, but I'm super strong, so shouldn't be a problem. It's gonna be a little crooked for a while, guys. So, oh my, I hope that's steep enough. Oh, look at that. That is a feat of engineering. Maybe I want a little more to the edge. I don't know. Where should I put it, guys? I'm going to obviously shim that. Do I want a gap here, or do I want a gap over there, is the question, because I want to make use of all my space. Now, I have a plug-in thing there, so I actually think that I want the gap there so I can access that plug, and also, shoot, too bad I couldn't scoot that over a little bit more. I don't know, but there we go. So then what I'm going to do is shim. I know I don't have makeup on. I haven't done my hair. I look like a hobo. Sorry. I'm going to put this under here before I put things on it. I'm going to make sure it's level somehow. Oh, that's okay. I think that's fine, except for the long pokey out bits, but you know, hey, that's all right. So then over there, I'm going to build my cube shelves. So stay tuned for that exciting installment. So remember how I labeled these things, and I labeled this one empty because it was empty with big letters? Well, that was perfect because then I realized that I can put these handles in there, and since it's a top drawer, it actually shuts.
And I think I can get all of these little ink cartridges that go into the handles in here. And that way, when I'm going to use my wheels, and I want to use the inks, a lot of times I just roll the wheels over ink pads, but I can just grab this tray and take it into the office or my big table, depending on where I'm working at that time, and use them right there. So, and that gets rid of these two things, which I can use for something else, or not, whatever, you know. And then I have these little spindles here. That's for some Stampin' Up! Had these like tiny skinny wheels, and then you could stack them together, or you could use just one. So that's what that is. I really ought to get those out. But look at that! Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? Now that goes up here, up high right there. Can you see my cat? I don't know if she's been. Look at my cat! Look at my cat! There she is. So that, yeah, there it goes up there. But what's the cutest thing is this right here. This is my kitty cat. It's Tally Bobally of the Fur. Tally Bobally's my pal, and she likes to help me organize. As helpful as a cat can be, as you can imagine. Okay, guys, I have pared down what was in this drawer and this drawer to just be in this drawer. I rewrote office and school up here, just cleared off the labels, and I've got everything in here. So over here, I've got notebooks that, I mean, I don't know if the kids are going to use them. They don't seem to use them much, but I've got them there. I've got a couple of packs of pencils. I've got a couple of packs of staples. I've got a whole reinforcements. I use these. I don't think the kids do very much. And they said they didn't care to keep any filler paper, so I had an open package, so I'm keeping that. I've got some graph paper there. I've got a couple legal pads. And then I've got a stack of paper folders. And then over here, this is just like ballpoint pens. There's my sticky notes. I actually use those for stamping, but the kids do use them for sticky notes too. And actually, I use these bigger sticky notes upstairs by the computer, because after I film something, I write my editing notes on them and I stick them on the computer screen so Jason will know what's on deck to be edited next. And then way in back, I have Sharpies and dry erase markers. I was a little on the fence whether I want to put Sharpies and dry erase markers in the same thing, but all the Sharpies are black, and then I've got the colorful dry erase markers, so hopefully they won't get misused. But you know, my kids are all older, they know how to read, you know, so they know what's a dry erase marker and what isn't. And then this drawer is beautifully blank, except I think there's about to be a cat in it. Yep, okay, this is my cat drawer. This is where I keep my cat, one of them. Oh, that makes me nervous. That's a little ruler that I forgot. Oh, I have my rulers in that top drawer too. So everything's in one drawer. I've got a stash of things to donate. I'm just going to pan you over here so you can see. So I must have grabbed these at the Dollar Tree. They're scientific calculators. They're not what my kids using. They need those fancy graphing ones that are like $80, but I grabbed these at one point for a backup, I guess. They never got used, so I'm going to donate those. Also, these sharpeners, which are super cute, because when you sharpen something, their little, like, teeth go up and down, or their eyeballs go, like, open and close, so they're kind of cute. But I have so many sharpeners for when I teach. I think I'll donate these because they'll be fun for a teacher to use with their kids. And I've just got some random, like, die-cut embellishments that I've made, and some metallic markers. I already have metallic markers. They came in a Smart Art box. I've got a couple new packages of filler paper, and then a couple Jane Davenport like face kind of worksheet things and stencils that I personally don't use. I think they're cute, but I would rather just draw my own faces. So those are going in the donation pile. So that's where we're at now. And oh, look at that kitty cat. Isn't she being adorable? Look at that. That's a cat-sized drawer. Does that give you any idea of how big that drawer is? Probably not. I have a big cat. That's a pretty big drawer. She looks annoyed though. Oh, all right. So Jason cut the shims for me. They are clamped and drying right now because there were 3 of those thin pieces. So they're clamping and drying. And what I'm going to do now, actually. Bye-bye, Frida. Bye-bye. Oh, I almost called her Frida. That's her sister. Bye-bye, Tally. So in that big area over there, oh, there's my filming stick from the old filming area hanging from the ceiling. So like right up there, I am going to build some shelves with some wire cube thingies. All right, I'm building the cubes here. I'm building them on the floor because it's easier for me to get leverage. And something I never realized before when I was building these is that you have all of these pieces that are like this. They're just flat cube things, and you put them together with these little connectors. And I've already got started here. It's very awkward to get
to get going with it, but they're actually very sturdy. So this is what these little connectors look like. And it didn't occur to me because they can go several different ways. They're kind of like Tinker Toys. So I was always putting them like this, like at the bottom, but then I realized I could actually have them flat on the bottom so that they would sit flatter on whatever I was stacking them on top of, or on the floor or whatever. So there's a little tip. If you have these, have your bottom layer be flat like that. And you can reinforce these with zip ties, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so see these little guys here? Actually, I had a bunch of these. I didn't realize I had so many shelf connectors, and I was fiddling around with them, and you know, they're actually plenty sturdy. So I'm going to show you how to use these because they always just perplexed me, and this is actually pretty sturdy. I'm wondering if in the past I have put these together wrong. So, we're going to go in from the outside. Okay, can you see? I'm on the outside of the little cage. So this is going to go in. It's going to straddle one of the vertical wires. I'm going to tip it up, and I'm going to push it down. Okay, and I have it so there's these two slots, and I want the deeper slot to be right next to the vertical wire, and then when you push it down, that locks it in. So it's being held by this horizontal slot here, or wire here, and this vertical wire, and it's in those slots. I hope that makes sense. Let me see. I wonder if I can put another one in where you can see it. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to go on the same, and you have to use 4 of these for every thing. We're starting from the outside. We're straddling the vertical wire. And then we're going to pull the thing so it snaps into place, and the vertical wire goes into the deep slot, and then the slot on the bottom is, you can't see this. Well, I'm going to do the same thing again. This is the worst organizational video ever. Just go to IKEA and make a cute craft room like the famous YouTubers do. That's just a better idea. It'll cost you some more, but you won't have the grief. And then you just set another wire piece on top and snap it into place, like so. Or you can just use zip ties and zip tie everything together, and that works fine too. So there you have it. You can't see it because you're too close. You can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see the cube storage for the cubes. All right, so I'm gonna put this up where it goes now. You want to see? All right, hang on a second. All right, get ready for some awkward filming because I've got to carry this thing across the room. Oh, guys. Oh, man. Actually, it's not that heavy. I'm so glad. Oh, shoot, my foam core bottom thingy is... I have, this used to be where I took photos at one point, so I had foam core down there. You probably can't see anything. I'm standing in front of it. What I'm going to try to do is... And I did measure, thank goodness, before I put this here. I want to try to make sure that there is equal support under each of these feet. Boy, look at that. It's like it was meant for this. Look at that. It's perfect. Perfect. It perfectly fits. And it's pretty well supported, I would say. I'm just trying to make sure that nothing is hanging off the edge because, you know, we've got this balanced off filing cabinet and some plastic organizers. I gotta make sure nothing's hanging off the edge. No, we're good. You know, and you feel good because you did it yourself with stuff you already had. Using the top of the shelf for really light stuff, I can actually take advantage of the kind of joist or rafters area where it is much higher. And so I just took a lightweight basket and I put my really lightweight decorations that are from when I make kissing balls for the evergreen kissing balls for outside. I save all the berries and flowers and stuff I use on it, the silk flowers, so they don't go to waste. And if I don't label that, I'm going to forget what's in there. And then here, these are heavy beads, and I want heavy stuff on the bottom. Right here is going to be just enough space for my box with drawers with finding stuff in it. My findings you know, the wire, earring wires, chains, clasps and stuff like that. That's up in Lila's room right now because she still uses it. But I really want this space to be jewelry making supplies. And I have a bunch of jewelry making supplies over in the area that has all of the, you know, the cat storage area where I store my cat. Just kidding. I don't need any mean emails. See, the cat's not even in there anymore. I have some jewelry making stuff in there I'm going to put over there so I have like with like, because it bothers me not to have all my stuff together and then I can't find what I need. Like, I've been searching for my wire for like forever, so I'm going to do that now. Just as a brief aside here, look what I found. I can't remember exactly where I got this. I think I got this from a yard sale I went to that a store owner had. And it's all of these like samples for using Stampscapes. And I did buy, oh, you probably can't see that. I bought a bunch of, why am I in like the most unlit area of my craft room? I don't know. So anyway, it's all these samples on how to use Stampscapes, which are a type of rubber stamp to like do scenery stamping. So, oh my gosh, every time I come across these, I'm like, why don't I do these? I need to like practice that because it's so pretty. So anyway, that was a little treasure that I found. You always find treasures. There's an incentive to clean your craft space because you always find treasures. Anyway, okay, I gotta get back to work. Stop distracting me. All right, here we are. I apologize for the noise. It is a little after 9 o'clock Sunday night, and I'm going to take a break. So I've got my shelves up, and I've put in some drawer making supplies that were in the chest of drawers where the office supplies are. Now I have 2 fully empty drawers over there. But I got everything put away on my desk. I've got that the drying rack up over there. The shims are in place. Mr. Frugal did a great job on those. And this is the donation box I have going so far. And because I was cleaning off my table, and I'm like, oh, I just filled my office supply drawer, and I've got these highlighters, but they weren't highlighters. You know what they are? They are Mr. Sketchies. So the girls had cleaned out, and they had gotten rid of a bunch of stuff they didn't want in their rooms. And of course, you know, I go through it like a crazy person. And these are all Mr. Sketchies. I wish you could smell this. Oh, they smell so good. So I think I might actually have to do a little project with them before I give them away, because I do like Mr. Sketchy markers. I get everything labeled over there, and I have not brought in the the little stackable bookshelves. Are not stackable. My husband's very concerned with my plan that I have for this area, but I did scoot my sewing machine over the way because that poor sewing machine's been through a lot. It got dropped, and I've repaired it, and we just need to not harm it anymore. So that's where we are, 9 o'clock Sunday night. I don't know if I'll get back in here tomorrow to work because I've got some artwork I need to do, but this will be a little treat because I actually really love organizing. Okay, it's Monday morning, and I was just getting ready to start my work week, and I had a brainstorm. This is a secretary desk here, and in it I have some random stuff. I've got a couple extra dry erase boards for when I'm making, like, when I'm planning out stuff, but I keep those Stampin' Up! Ink pads in there, but I don't use them very often. They're nice to have when I don't have a dye, like dewdrop ink in that specific color, but generally I only use those when I am doing bigger projects like Christmas cards or batch card making. So I'm thinking of taking that out and putting my scan and cut in there, because the secretary desk has this nice fold out area that I could pull the scan and cut forward and have plenty of room for my mat to go in and out, and I have a plug-in right there. So I would just have to decide whether I wanted to drill a hole in the desk for the cord or just plug it in as I needed to use it, which probably that's what I would do. I think it would fit in there. I think it's plenty wide. So that's something I'm thinking of, and I might take my ink pads and either put them back in the storage area room that we've been cleaning or put them on that shelf. So one or the other. Just something I thought of, but I really got to get back to actual paying work. So I'll check in with you later when we're back to organizing, probably tonight. All right, it's time to unmarker this crazy shelf of markers and move it so I can put my ill-advised stacked stands up there. So that's what we're going to do now. All right, this has got to go. Oh, this is lightweight, and the other things I'm putting up here are not lightweight, so hopefully the whole table doesn't just break. Oh, man. All right, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Probably put it in storage, because it seems like I always drag that out every few months to redecorate or to restore something. So these sturdy guys, I think, will be fine. No, oh, I don't know about that electrical outlet. Oh, guys, that might not work. Okay, let's see. I do have some shelf liner to put underneath the feet of this top one so that hopefully it won't slide off and, you know, crush me to death while I'm sewing. Because, like, the vibration of the sewing machine. Let's see. Oh, this is ill-advised. Oh, my word, what am I thinking? This is a bad plan. Oh, come on. It's just like, stupid electrical outlet. It's like, literally, seriously, guys, look at this. It is like, can you see that? Look at that. Why? Oh, maybe I can scooch it over. All right, we're going to try scooching. Hi, oh, the cat's back. This is a great idea.
Oh, would you give me a break? Seriously? Oh, stupid shelf is in the way. And as it is, this thing is like hanging over the edge. But you know what? What's one more inch? What's one more inch? If I can scoot that over one more inch, not even an inch, this will fit. So this is a bit, oh, that's heavy. So this is the Tetris that I play anytime I am rearranging. That looks stable, doesn't it? Oh, friends. I don't know. What have you gotten yourselves into? Can you believe you're watching this? I'm sure you have better things to do. Like plan a marker intervention or something. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm going to see if I can move that. I'm going to take everything off that stupid pink shelf to move it, aren't I? Look at that. I'm going to have to take all that stuff off of there. I don't know if I'm up for that. We'll see. I'll see you in a minute. We'll see what I decide. I think I need a new plan. This isn't going to work because on the other side of the pink shelf is another electrical outlet. That's why it is only over that far, not pushed up against that wall, because there's another electrical outlet like that. And try as I might, I cannot fit those two shelves next to the electrical outlet because the piece of wood that electrical outlet is supported on, because this is just a basement with, like, you know, cement walls. There's a piece of wood back there, so I can't push it up against the wall. So it definitely is not safe, and it's not actually as much space as I thought it was going to give me because of the legs and the yeah, it's not going to be as efficient as the DVD rack that I had there. So I'll probably put the DVD rack. This is like my day. I just spend the whole day trying something and undoing it and putting it back the way it originally was. Maybe I do need a marker intervention. Look at that. That's disgusting. That's not counting the marker wall in my filming room. What is wrong with me? I need help. Send help. Send help. Send orders. I don't know. I'll see you in a few minutes. I didn't get to do exactly what I wanted, but I think it's a lot neater there now. And everything is kind of with their brand mates. And if you're wondering why I have so many markers, it's because I review markers. Companies send me these to review, but then when I review a new marker, I often will go back and compare it with similar markers. So, like, if people are trying to decide the two, or if this marker is identical to something else that's already on the market, I go back in and I compare. I also compare color numbering systems to see if something is essentially just the exact same thing. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I also teach, and then I will probably do classes with these in the next season of life when my kids are moved out and I can use the big addition as my studio. So that's one of the reasons I'm hanging on to all this stuff. Sidebar, the artisan markers there that are standing on their end, I recently used those because up there on the top shelf there, the new Everblend Ultra regular and brush markers came out. And I just put those back because I just finished filming reviews on those. I was comparing them with the old Everblend markers that came out a couple of years ago, and they've been sitting on their ends, and both ends worked great, perfectly juicy, no complaints there. So I have to say I'm kind of impressed with that. Because all my other markers I have laying on the side, but just the way the cases go with their handles, they don't like to lay on their side in my Tetris organization system very well, but they were juicy on both ends. I thought that was very impressive. And I thought I would share with that because I like to, if I see something wrong with a product, I'll mention it. If I see something right with a product, I think I should mention that as well. But anyway, so we're back to square one. I really didn't do anything here except that's neater now. And next time, not only will I measure before I come up with a grand plan, but I will also account for things that I can't move, like outlets in the wall, because I measured it and those things were going to fit there, but the stupid outlet made it so it wouldn't fit. But oh well, that's just part of life. That's part of organizing. I like organizing, so I'm not going to complain. And since I had my shelf liner over here to, like, you know, put underneath the feet of the the shelf I was going to stack on top of another shelf, I put a piece of shelf liner underneath my presser foot because it slides all over the place. So that's something that's new that I did. Only took me a long time to move everything around and then put it back again. I wish I had some cute contact paper because I would have contact papered that while I had everything pulled out of there, but c'est la vie. All right, another brief sidebar. I was just investigating my door. Okay, so this is a hollow core door that all my tables are like hollow core doors. It's amazing how strong they are because that cabinet down at the end has a letterpress tray full of washi tape on it.
It is hanging off. There is a gap of about 5 inches between that door and the wall, and that's leaning against the wall, that chest of 3 drawers, leaning against the wall. So it's hanging off that table by about 5 inches. And there's like an inch and a half hanging over the side of it. And it's just bouncing there, happy as a lark. It isn't having any problems with anybody, just living its life. How has my studio not just completely collapsed around me? I don't know. Somebody's going to find me in a pile of rubble one day. Oh my word. It's crazy. Killed by markers. That's how I'm going to go. That's what my obituary will state. Oh my goodness. All right. What have we done so far today? Well, I actually went through the office and kind of cleared out some pads of paper that just kind of like, I'll do a project, I'll bring a pad of paper in and carry on that way for a while. Then all of a sudden my shelf of paper is full. So I brought some paper back, and then I was kind of, instead of having all of my paper pads, my small paper pads and sketchbooks on their edges or on their ends, I decided I would stack them up so I wouldn't have all that dead space. And oh my word, I have so many half-done sketchbooks. I have a few sketchbooks in the other room. I'm going to use those up. I'm going to try to get myself to use up a few sketchbooks and then bring in a few other half-done sketchbooks. And then I will have a stack. Because if you look, I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in. I've got a stack of like 4 sketchbooks over there that are done, but it's like I have others that are like two pages from being done. I don't know how many, maybe like 15 sketchbooks that are very close to being done. Even though I generally work on loose paper, I've been trying over the past couple of years to work more in sketchbooks so they are more contained, so I don't have this. See that? Random portfolios crammed with paintings. I did a burn about 2 years ago where I went through all my portfolios and burnt most of the crap that was in there, because a bunch of it's just junk. Nobody's going to care about that at any point in history, or even in my lifetime. So I just burnt a bunch of artwork I didn't like, and it's full again. And I've got frames in there too, and it just needs to be gone through. I've been keeping my good artwork in the office in that armoire of stuff to sell eventually, like with cards and stuff. And I still have that big pile. I don't even know how it all like adds up. This is turning into less of an organizing video, more of like a self-help video, I feel like. I did label the fabric drawers. Even though I don't have a ton of fabric, I figured, why not? I'm labeling everything. So on the top drawer I have like felt, tassels, and for some reason shoelaces. I don't know why. Then I have jelly rolls and fat quarters. That's what I use most of. I've got large panels of fabric. Actually, most of those in there, and in the bottom drawer, the larger panels, were curtains. So I've made curtains for different rooms in the house, and then they get, then we change it up. Here I've got unfinished projects, and like I have lining material to reline my winter coat, and I have some stiffened felt, and then more of the curtain, and just leftover like costume fabric and leftover upholstery fabric and things like that. So that's all I have for fabric. I only buy fabric when I have, except for fat quarters, I only buy fabric if I have a specific project in mind. That keeps the hoard under control for that anyway. I don't sew that much, so it's a little easier. And I started to go through those cubes, kind of keeping my tins together, my markers together. It's funny, I've been going through and adding up how many I have of a typical project, to think like how many students could I have in a class using these supplies. And I'm not kidding guys, I don't know why I'm whispering, 38 or 39 sets of markers. Now granted, some sets are like, 24, and they might be like just a set of like blendable colors or whatever, like 24 reds or 24 greens or whatever. But yeah, like 38 sets of markers. And that's crazy. That's so crazy. And but some sets are like 100 and something, But, workshops. Am I lying to myself? I think I'm lying. I don't know. What is life? I have no idea what's going on. Help me. Send help. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have lunch and then I'll come back to it. Hey guys, I'm back. It's Friday night. Friday. Oh my gosh, it's Sunday night. It's about 10 p.m. I just finished up, and I didn't film today because we lost the power at one point, and I just wanted to get this done. I was really getting ready to be through with it, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks so far. Or it's done. It's done. It's organized. I vacuumed, which I'm just going to loosen this up so I can tip it around a little bit. I vacuumed, so that just feels better anyway. And I have 7 empty drawers. So I've actually kind of, I had a lot of drawers that kind of had random stuff in it. So it might be like random stamping stuff, random craft stuff, random office supply stuff. You know, they had like, oh, maybe I didn't have enough room or I didn't have a category for something. And so I just chucked it in a drawer. So I went through all those drawers and I actually put things in their proper categories. So it ended up making me be able to free up some drawers. And, you know, our shelf, if you remember that from so long ago, the shelf trauma. I really like how these turned out. I ended up putting my oil pastels and gel crayons in there because they're a very similar consistency, and the gel crayons are quite different from my watercolor crayons. So I thought any of the oily kind of slick feeling media here I want to put in there. And then I put my watercolor crayons over with my watercolor pencils and things because I use those more together. And then, I mean, I've got an empty drawer on the bottom. Underneath all of these, and I could put this in the bottom drawer, but it works so well under here. I actually have all my reinkers in these Dollar Tree shoe bins, and they are great because I can keep them standing up so they don't leak, and you still have to put those Tim Holtz Distress dropper bottle inks in a baggie even though you have them upright because they will find a way to leak. I don't know what it is with those, but I've had such messes with those. But I can fit 3 of those under there and get all my reinkers. So rather than, you know, take up space in a drawer where I could store a cat, I don't store cats in drawers. I've got that space. And I put some craft foam in here. I bought it, and honestly, it's something I would definitely more use with kids craft. So maybe if I do projects at the library again. And then I'm putting my student grade watercolor refills in there. I did just go through my, my teaching bag because I do have a class coming up next month for project graduation. I'm volunteering. My son's project graduation doing the art room, so I just want to make sure I had that stocked. It's all set, and that the brushes are the same, except they dusted, so, you know, there's that. That's pretty much the same. I do keep my jewelry, my bin of jewelry tools there, even though my jewelry stuff's on the other side of the room, because that's where it always is. And I did label some of those boxes because I did put some, I had that those little white boxes up there where I wrote on the side 4x4 canvas and mini easels. There was only a few of those left, so I put ATC boards, artist tiles, chipboard, postcards, so things that were like mini surfaces to paint on. And then the box underneath it is 3x3 canvases, and I didn't feel like I needed to label it. But I did label a lot of stuff, and I did leave spaces where things go. So like that void there is for my pastel drawers, which I'm still keeping in my office because I'm still planning on using them some more. And then I took my scan and cut, which was in that spot right back there behind my paper cutter. I took my scan and cut and put it in my office in the little secretary desk. That fits perfectly, and I can pull it out and use it because of the fold down top. So I'm going to try that for a while, and it gives me a little more room to use my paper cutter, which is nice. I think I showed you that I turned a lot of my sketchbooks on their side so I wouldn't have that leftover space up top, so I could fit them a little bit better. And I'm going to try to use up the started sketchbooks before I open new ones. And underneath that drawing rack over there, I've been stacking finished sketchbooks. So I've got like 4 finished sketchbooks and an art journal. And I'm thinking about, I just looked through the art journal today. I finished it a couple of years ago. And honestly, I'm thinking about just pulling out the couple of pages I like and like burning the rest because I'm not really that happy with it. But maybe I'll just keep it as a time capsule. Oh, this was kind of neat. I have to show you this. So I can't walk through there with my tripod. I got these calendars a few years ago at Martin's, and they're printed on such nice paper, and I thought it would be so cool to like frame some of these artworks and put them up in my kitchen. I thought they were so fun and retro that they would just be so cute in a retro kitchen. I really like those kind of fruit crate and vegetable crate designs, but I really love this pastry one. And the paper feels like canvas. It's so nice. So we have like a 70s ranch. So there's like this soffit above the cabinets. I think if I was able to, I think it's probably about a foot high too. I'm wondering if I was able to like mount this on foam core or something. I mean, it's a calendar. I don't need to preserve it for the, you know, eternity. But if I was able to mount that on like foam core or something, and of course it's like the popcorn ceiling type of soffit. It's got that stuff on it. But I was thinking that'd be so cool to have those up there. Just something like a decoration. I don't know. But I'm putting that out. So I plan on painting the kitchen pretty soon. I'm hoping I can kind of, it can kind of inspire me. So I have rearranged some of the stuff over there where I have all my tins of colored pencils and media that comes in tins and pen pastels and gel plates and stuff. And I can go over a little bit. I haven't really changed that too much. And if you saw my tour I did a couple of years ago when I teamed up with Marta over at Marimie's Small Art, it hasn't really changed all that much other than the fact that I have different products. I can't, this is such an awkward place. I can't really zoom out too much, but like my water-based markers are there. I'm keeping those together because if I'm doing like a workshop, I can just grab them all and go. I have all my 12 tins and smaller, 12 count tins and smaller things in there. These are my Cheap Joe watercolor crayons, which are really nice and I want to use them more. And then I just got like, random tins of pencils and media that I like. That I'll use for classes, and pretty much the same all through there. So we made the shelves, and I'll show you what's on the shelves now. Now there's a lot of empty spaces because a lot of my jewelry supplies are in my daughter's room, and actually I didn't realize how much she has in her room because I was up there, I was showing her how to use crimp beads today because she never used tiger tail and crimp beads. And she had quite a few containers, and I'm hoping, I think this will be plenty. This generally isn't here. This is usually way up high in the rafters, but we had taken that down. She had taken that down to get to my tiger tail beading wire and wire jig box. So I think I'll have plenty of room to put stuff back if she decides that, you know, she doesn't want it in her room anymore. But yeah, that's what I want to do there. And I can add more shelves with zip ties if I want to, but I'm not doing that yet because generally open shelves are a little bit easier. And way up high, I put my Speedball silk screen and all my beading boards up there because they're lightweight and that just keeps them out of the way. Because as you can see, I'm in the unfinished basement, so we have that rafter space that can really be utilized. Now I did label everything in here. I'm wondering if you can see all those drawers down there. I just put chalkboard labels on them. I didn't really change things around too much, so if you saw my old tours, you know what's in there. But now they all have labels, so I can quickly find what I want. I don't have to look through 3 or 4 drawers to get to the right one. And I did the same on these, on the little cubbies that are at the end of my table. So please excuse their cat scratch. My cat likes to come down here and stretch, and she doesn't damage any of the furniture in my house. So I will take it. I will take this stuff being scratched up and not my house. So I can see obviously in this thing of stickers and paper pads. I don't have a lot of mini paper pads. And I can see in my thing of scissors there. So I don't need to label those. But all the other ones are labeled mostly for the benefit of, like, if somebody came over to craft and we're working in the heated space and I say, oh yeah, my punches are in the other room at the end of my table, look in the bottom bins, they can just see that that's the punches and punches. And they can kind of read and see what's what, see where everything is. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I did go through the scary shelf at the end. Oh, we can go a little bit closer to that, I suppose. And I really didn't have too much to get rid of over there. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a catch-all, but it's got a lot of, this tripod is just very difficult, but I don't want to like make you seasick. Like I've got a lot of locker crates and bins and totes and just unwieldy stuff. Like I've got my old personal electronic cutter over there because I can use that with my Gypsy. I could take it with me on crops. I can hook it to my computer and use it with Scal software. I'd lent it to a friend after I got my Expression, and she actually ended up buying her own, a used one from somebody else, and so she returned it, and so it just sits over there as a backup. It's not really worth anything to sell, and it was like a pretty well-made machine, so although I don't really care for that brand currently, I like that old machine. It works really well. And yeah, all that stuff is just really bulky stuff, like my binders of compact discs. I know, I have them. It's crazy. I have some random ones sitting out there too, because I don't know. I should listen to music more instead of like listening to crazy, you know, political YouTube, but I don't know, habits die hard, I guess. But I need to go through everything, and I have a bunch of teaching like stash, like oh, you know, pallets and just bags for organizing, teaching stuff for classes, and it's not very exciting stuff, but I went through it, made sure everything was in good condition, and that's pretty much it. I did oh my gosh, I gotta tell you this, guys. It was so aggravating. So I was going through all my portfolios there. That's pretty much, I went through that probably 2 years ago, maybe even more recently, and I got rid of all the junk. So the stuff in there is not that bad, and even some of the stuff is not really packaged, but it's in sleeves so it doesn't get damaged. And since I moved into the heated area less than a year ago, I have got a stack probably about a foot thick of artwork, like on paper. Some canvas panels, but mostly paper. So I've got half in here, half in there. That kind of bothers me. I don't like to have stuff split up, but one of these days I'll get ambitious. I will sign up for an art fair. I will mat all that junk up, and I will try to have a fire sale, basically. Oh, a college tuition sale, right? But so it's neat now, but oh my gosh. So up here, I have some marker pads and some dry erase boards and frames and whatnot. Stuff that, was kind of too tight to fit on my, my bookshelf of pads of paper and books. And so I have this thing up here. It was actually an award I got like in 2019. And it's this heavy, really heavy, like a soap opera, like star award, but it's not. It's for like, I had a course, it was like a sales award for how many, like things how many classes worth you sold on Teachable. And so I was one of the leaderboard people and I won this award. So I'm trying to like scooch it so I could put one more sketchbook or something on there, and it topples. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to shatter in a million pieces on the cement floor. But what it did was it actually punctured this humongous canvas. I don't know if you can see that hole in there. It's not that big. I'm sure I can patch it. Can you see the hole right there? So I was just like, oh, come on. If that's not a metaphor for my artistic life, the big canvas that never gets used, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so I'll probably patch it and either paint on it or give it to my daughter Lila, who has asked to paint. I said she could paint on it if she wanted to. She probably should have, because then it wouldn't be there getting crashed into by an award. And then other than that, I did all my labeling, which I think I showed you. Oops, sorry. I untightened the wrong thing on my tripod. I did all my labeling over there. Yeah, I went through all my pads of paper, made sure they looked in good shape. I can read my labels a lot better now. I don't know if the camera will focus on them, but that's where they are, and they're labeled. And it's easier to see that than blue on blue. And I also went through this. This was a poster board rack I bought from Rite Aid. And I just keep a sarong over it to keep my paper clean. But I just went through and looked it all up. Like, these are larger pads and blocks of paper that won't fit on the bookshelf very well. And just to kind of get an inventory of what I have, and I've got pastel paper on the bottom. But I just wanted to kind of see what I had and make sure that everything was in good order. And I knew what I had, basically. I think I showed you that I recently reorganized my wrapping paper. I don't keep a ton of wrapping paper, but it's there, so it's easy for anybody to find, and then they can, wrap presents on the table. I'd like to keep that clean. You can probably see my filming arm up there. I can hook my camera to that. I actually want to work in here a little bit more now the weather's better. Underneath, I moved the space heater so I could push my yarn totes back under there. I've also got an ironing board and an iron. And this is really handy for when I'm doing any sewing, because I tend to do like home decor stuff, cushions, big projects. And so it's so easy to lay out large yard goods and cut it there. And then I can just scooch over here, and I can also cut smaller things there with my rotary cutter, and I can do my sewing. And it's not fancy, but it works. And I have all my sewing stuff here, so it's handy. My daughter Lila has my more modern sewing machine upstairs. It's a little bit, I don't know if it's easier to use, but it's a little bit less, I don't want to say finicky, but I think it's a little less finicky for a beginner. But anyways, there is it. Oh, it's late, guys, and I'm tired, but I'm done, and I'm reasonably happy with this. I'm hoping it inspires me to create. And for those of you that were, wanting a peek at the old space again, there you have it. I know we didn't go into every single nook and cranny and open every drawer, but I think you've probably seen that stuff before in past videos. If not, go check it out. And that is it. Thank you guys for saying in Sat Chat that you wanted to see a tour of this, because there's no way I would have gotten beyond just labeling stuff if I wasn't being held accountable by you guys. So thank you so much for that. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.